make comments about black people's skin and stuff like that, but I just say, oh, I love my skin and it's caramel, so I'm candy. And I love my hair because it's so natural and beautiful. And in the light, it looks so like the sunlight reflects off of it.
I love my hair because it's long and it's like really pretty. And I feel about my skin is it's also like really beautiful and it's unique.
Brown Girls Empowerment. I am a child. Empower me. We are brown girls. Empower me. You see my skin? Don't ignore me. I am love. Love me for me. Brown. We are brown girls. Empowered.
Brown Girl Empowerment. I am a teen. Empower me. We are brown girls. Empower me. You see my hair? Don't ignore me. I am love. Love me for me. Girl. We are brown girls empowered.
Brown Girl Empowerment. I am an elder. Empower me. We are brown girls. Empower me. You see my features. Don't ignore me. I am love. Love me for me. Empowerment. We are brown girls empowered.
Hi, I'm Sharia Whaley, and I was born and raised in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Growing up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, it might be hard to even imagine, but not everybody gets a perm. I grew up in a household where my mother was not having it. The closest we ever got to straightening was a straightening comb. Majority of the times my mom would just braid our hair. It was not really much of our hair being out because it was a lot to tame back then. A lot of my friends had perms or was wearing extensions. My hair would be considered the Brillo pad. But I used to be like, if you touch my hair, it don't feel like a Brillo pad. But I guess sometimes the puff, they always used to say, used to tease me by saying, oh, Brillo pad hair or Sealy or things of that nature. And I'm like, excuse me, at least Sealy got some money but her name being in a movie. Things of that nature.
I'm a Haitian and Cuban, and I remember the first time when I begged my mom for a perm. It brought me closer to my Hispanic side because, you know, Spanish girls have straight long hair, so I felt more comfortable getting my hair straightened. But then around 2012, I realized that it was a mistake. My mom used to do home sets perms, take us to the salon, and they'll always burn my hair. She would burn my hair. One time, she burned my sister's hair so bad, it fell out. It was really bad. It kind of woke me to like change. Like I wanted to do better for my hair and, you know, do better for myself, because why can't I be happy with the way my hair grows out rather than, you know, trying to make it to the European standards that we live by. It just makes me happy, makes me comfortable with my own skin. You know, they expect you have lighter skin, they expect you to be something else that you're not. I never say I'm mixed. I'm just like, yeah, I'm black. That's how my hair is. You know, my hair is, I got it from just my black roots.
My mother never let us have perm when I was growing up. I always wanted one, but she wasn't about that life. She wanted us to always have natural hair. So by the time I turned 19, I decided old enough, I'm gonna get it myself. I didn't live at home anymore, and I got a perm. It was a very painful process and always something to maintain. I felt like I never had it looking good enough. Also had to make sure that I wasn't like scratching my hair right before I got the perm, because it would hurt so bad if I did get the perm and then, you know, it's like burning your scalp and everything like that. I think because I didn't grow up having it, I wasn't used to what it took to maintain, I guess, I don't know. But I just was like, this isn't for me. So I cut my hair and I started to lock it. I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with it. So I guess it was December of 2015, I shaved it all again, and this time I shaved it the closest I ever shaved it. And it was like a Caesar, I guess it's called, a boy cut. And I loved it. That like is my favorite way of wearing my hair.
I was so excited about getting a perm because in the Southern culture at the time, we're talking about in the 70s, going up to the 80s, good hair was a big thing, having good hair. And I always thought that I didn't have good hair. So when I was old enough to have a perm, and my hair was strong enough to have a perm, I was notified that I can now have a perm. So 12 years old, I remember going to one of my mom's friend's house, and they whipped out the perm, mixed it together, and that was my first perm experience. And I remember feeling so beautiful. I think all of the gestures at the time were, oh my gosh, you look like a different person. Your face looks brighter. And I think all of those compliments at the time, you know, speaking to a young dark-skinned girl, it increased my self-esteem. And I didn't realize at the time that, you know, all the ways that we connect our hair to our skin and our identity and who we are. I think I became used to the burn, the creamy crack burn, and that became part of the ritual. Every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks, that your edges had to be straight. Even into high school, I took great care and concern. And I think I learned that from my mom, who also, you know, dark-skinned woman, felt inadequate growing up, being dark-skinned. That hair, if your hair looks good, if your hair is styled nice, then you can, even though you're not beautiful, if your hair looks good, you look good. And I think I kept that. And on to high school, I would wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, make sure those curls were laid. You could ask friends. The curls had a place and a position, and God forbid there was a rain or a tight wind. Oh, we had to go back to the bathroom before we go to class. In my 20s, in college, I began to wrestle with my identity and understanding that, you know, hair was not like an India Arie says, I'm not my hair. I think I had that, and I think that was when in the late 80s, early 90s. The big chop for me probably was about 21, 22, 91, 92, because I needed to feel pretty again. You know, that creamy crap made me feel pretty. Ooh, that made me feel pretty. But eventually, I would come back to wanting and wondering, can I go without the perm? Can I do something different with my hair? And I would cut it again. And I remember just the twisting, oh my gosh, just trying to make something of these twists. It was a journey. You know, this hair thing, it's been a journey. I cut my locks, I think, after I had my son in 1999, and went back to the perm. Then I cut those locks, went back to the creamy crack, and began a whole nother series in my 30s of who am I? Is this what I want? And how do I associate this hair with who I am? And knowing that I've always wanted to be natural.
I remember getting my first relaxer in 9th grade, and it was a big deal because I was in the band, and I was in the marching band in Texas, and I was sweating a lot, so you have to wear this hat, and you're drenched in sweat. Am I going to keep my natural hair and still do band, or is my mother going to actually let me get a relaxer? And that was like, that was the turning point, that it made sense to have a relaxer, because then when I'm sweating, I'm not sweating out my natural hair. fast forward going to college. I remember, like, how am I going to take care of my hair? Because my mother always did my hair, or I went to get my hair done. So it was, I remember my mother in my senior year, like, practicing with me and, like, what tools am I going to use, because even with the relaxer, because I wanted it bone straight, I would still use a hot comb. And I go, now we use the flat iron to really get it straight. But at that time, I was still using a hot comb. So I remember my mother got me an electric hot comb, and that was like a big deal to have this electric hot comb. So that was my life. I was on that creamy crack, as they say. So moved to New York, still getting a relaxer. This time oh, it's funny to me now. But this time was open, my eyes were open to the world of wash and set. So I was getting my wash and set every week. So even in the mornings, I was flat ironing my hair in the mornings as well. So it was a lot. So needless to say, heat damage, all of that. I also remember a girl from my church when I was transitioning. I still remember her saying this to me. She said, you know, it's been so long since we've seen our natural hair that we don't remember what it looks like. And I was like, I really don't. At that point, I did not remember what my natural hair looked like. But she's like, no matter what it is, it's beautiful. No matter what it is. And that really stuck with me as I transitioned. So I was living with my cousin who had locks. Hadn't really thought about it. Growing up in Texas, there really weren't people who had locks. So really, again, being in Brooklyn is really where I saw an abundance of people with locks. I contacted loctician Ona, who used to live here in Brooklyn, has now since moved. She started my locks, and she maintained my locks for a very long time. So I started my locks on 8/9/11. So coming up on my lock anniversary, coming up soon. So yeah, that's how I got to my locks. I really did embrace all the stages. I've just really, really enjoyed having my locks. I did end up getting a big chop once my little short tapered cut grew out. I did end up going, it wasn't intentional, it was just one of these things I was having a hard time maintaining, and I was just like, do something, go and do something. I don't know. I went to a salon that I'd never been to, someone I'd never been to. This woman, and she just ended up cutting it all off. I feel like the people around me really supported and understood the importance of us embracing our natural hair. So for me, I was able to do that too.
My natural journey began, I want to say, when I was, how old am I now? I'm 40, say about 32. I was 32 years old. And it was more about me seeing what was behind the straight hair. I got a relaxer from, I want to say 10. And I remember all my friends doing it, and our moms put it in, you know, and it was to the point where you were odd and different if you did not have a relaxer by the time you were headed to middle school, you know. So everyone wanted one, and our parents went along with it. It was a lot of thought that came into it, a lot of thinking and contemplating and throwing it around with the family. And eventually I made the decision to do it. And when I did it, it was a shocker, but it was great because at the same time, I got a chance to see my face. I loved my new look. I loved how my hair coiled. I loved how I was able to extend it if I wanted to extend it, how it would pop right back, and how healthy, and I just called it juicy. It was my juicy hair. I loved it. And now I named her. Her name is Sheila. So I named her Sheila. And I named her Sheila after Aunt Sheila, my auntie. My Aunt Sheila used to wear her hair like this always. And she was so beautiful in those pictures. That's when it was acceptable to wear your hair in a fro. I feel so much comfortable wearing my fro. It wasn't easy. I used to put on weaves and braids and keep it covered up because my coils weren't accepted. But I started getting more compliments with my hair like this than with the braids and the weaves and the perm. I mean, from all nationalities. So now I'm embracing and I'm learning to love my coils, and I do.
My aunt pressing my hair, and it hurt like heck. I cried like a baby because I could feel my scalp being fried.
How old were you?
4 or 5 years old. And I was in junior high school. That lasts for about 4 years till I went to high school. Then I had a natural. You know, just wash and go. I love that about my natural hair. I love it short. I love it natural. My daughter created a shirt called I Love My Hair. Then I decided I wasn't going to perm my hair anymore. And I was going to go natural. So I've been natural outside of putting a wig on every now and again. But I love my natural hair. I love to feel my scalp. I love to run my fingers through it. I love to comb it. It just feels wonderful. I'm thinking about cutting it again so it can be nice and short and sassy. I was never teased about my skin texture or the color of my skin. For the most part, the environment that I grew up in, I think we were all very accepting of the different colors we were, the color of our skin. We were all comfortable with it in the neighborhood that I grew up in and the spaces and places that my parents took us to. So we kept our head up and our shoulders back and we kept it moving.
Although I am chalk and I love my skin, I used to be considered the hole in the wall, the darkest of either the girls that were around. Of course, I was not considered cute. All of the light-skinned ones were the fair-skinned and curlier, straighter hair. You know, I embraced it. I came from a strong background, strong family that always made sure to let me know I was beautiful and that you're gonna be something when you grow up. Because I'm a mom now, it's something that I want to make sure my daughter always keeps in mind, to know that she's beautiful and within her natural hair as well as her skin color.
My family's very big on having pride in ourselves. Like, my mother never let us have white doll babies, would require that a black child be in the television shows that we watched as children, and was real strict about the things that we read and made sure we had black books. And this is in a time where black children's books were not popular and not enough. I love my skin, but something about socialization and school, you know, and I'm a teacher, so I see the impact that schools are microcosms of society, and they teach children how to interact with themselves and with others. I have heard the phrase like, oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. I remember when I was in college, this white girl told me that I was the prettiest girl who had dark skin that she had ever seen. And it was just one of those moments where I didn't really have the language to explain to her why that's not a compliment.
They want you to fit more towards a certain side. Well, just like people who are mixed, they always want you to consider you. You have nice hair for a black girl. Are you mixed or something? No, I could just be black. Why can't my hair be like this if I'm just black? You know what I mean?
Dark skin is in and big hair is in. And I think we began to embrace that even more. And I think I've been on this natural hair journey now for maybe about 5-6 years now, about 5 years. I accept all the parts of who I am now, as a woman, as a mom, as a businesswoman. I accept the responsibility of leading our girls. This is a journey. It's not easy, but it's worth it because I've gone through this journey and I'm continuously on this journey, and I'm at a place now where I'm not looking back. Like, there's no ideas, there's no thought of going back to the creamy crack, and I say that I have no desire to go back to that look.
Being brown wasn't always comfortable, and I'll be honest with you, wasn't comfortable because I got darker. In the sun, I got darker. And it wasn't, whereas I kind of figured it was my own insecurities. I don't know if anyone actually made me feel that way, but I found that people flocked more towards the lighter. And from that, I shelled myself. I found myself covering up in the summer. I didn't want to get darker, wearing brimmed hats so that I wouldn't get darker, so that I can keep this tone at the very lightest that I would be from winter. And I know it's a common thing now, but growing up, it was something that was bothersome. It was very bothersome, not being able to enjoy my arms being out, and, things like that. When I talk about my complexion now, like, I'm good with it. I'm actually looking to get darker, and the darker that I get, it's different. Like, I embrace it more now. When I go into the winter with that, I'm like, I gotta hold on to it as long as I can. I wasn't comfortable in my skin, and now I am. My sons are darker, and to this day, I would tell you that my older son, he wasn't always comfortable with his hair type, even, with the coils and with the dark complexion. He loves his tone because now he sees that it's acceptable. Growing up, and I'm sorry to say, in our area amongst each other, it wasn't embraced. In his growth, in his own growth, he's learning that to love his complexion. He has a beautiful complexion. It's dark chocolate. It's brown babies. My daughters, they have gone natural. I didn't think that they would do it because they loved their perms, but when they watched me embrace mine, they started allowing themselves to transition. They realized their hair was so beautiful and it was so versatile. A natural hair woman can have straight hair, she can have coils, she can have curls, crimps, whatever she wants. And it comes right back because you take care of your hair.
This society is not built to make you feel like you are beautiful, but also reminding you that everything that they do in this society mimics your natural self.
Be confident in who you are and what you love. Do not listen to any outside energies because doing that takes away from who you are. Personally, just love yourself. Not that there's something wrong with the pinks and the daxes and the jams, but I'm in that era of natural beauty and natural products. So, yeah, keeping it simple is way better and lighter on your hair.
Do what's comfortable for you. Love yourself. It's hard in society because everyone's slim. Maybe you have a little more weight on your body. You're thick. It's beautiful. You have coils. It's beautiful. It's you. Why not love you? Don't try to be like someone else. Love yourself. Every day in the morning, wake up and say, you're strong, you're beautiful, and you're independent. Like, you deserve to be the way that you are because that's how God made you in your form. So just embrace it.
Getting to this place has been a journey, just like my lock journey, my natural hair journey, but I really can say, that it might sound cliche, that I really do love the skin I'm in. And as I get older, the more I get more comfortable in that. But being able to accept that and believe it and, just say, you know what, thank you. And then reiterating that to yourself. And that's where I am now. And I feel like then you're able to exude that, and then it just comes back to you.
Hair. Women started wearing their hair in afros in the mid-60s. Angela Davis, blaxploitation films, made afros seem less militant. Soul Train, dance moves with expressions of hair and culture. Afros went out of style through the 80s and came back in the 90s. Now, there are countless women that wear froze. Black, natural hair makes a statement no matter who is wearing it. Skin. Colorism. With so many shades of black, dark-skinned women talk about not feeling loved or not loving their skin. Getting paid less than a lighter-skinned woman? Stay out of the sun. You'll get darker if you don't. Try bleaching your skin. You'll be accepted. Chemicals for the hair? Chemicals for the skin? Would you eat chemicals? What is it really? How do you embrace all of you? How do you empower yourself? How do you love yourself? Teach a brown girl to embrace her skin. Teach a brown girl to embrace her hair. Teach a brown girl to embrace her body. Teach a brown girl to love herself. Brown girl empowerment. It's all about loving all of her.